I grew up with my mom and my sister out in California. She was a single parent, and going into 8th grade, I moved in with my dad and stepmom. And like my mom, they really wanted my sister and I to grow up to be responsible, nice, polite people. So as a family, we spent several Sundays church shopping, going to different churches, and the one that we ended up going to was just down the road from us. So it was a local Methodist church. I got super involved with Bible studies, youth group in the evenings, church choir, Sunday school, and I really enjoyed it and definitely considered myself a Christian at that time. When I graduated high school, I went away to college and I looked at a couple of different Christian groups, definitely made some good friendships there, but I also started to learn some things that for me became a challenge to my faith. I felt like school and the world was explaining that things can all be explained and defined without God. The natural world is what it is, and there isn't anything beyond that. And so pretty quickly, probably even by the end of my freshman year, I completely walked away from my faith. I decided I wasn't a Christian anymore. Along with that went all of the changes that commonly go along with college. Drank a lot, partied a lot, just a lot of destructive choices. And yet the people from that church group maintained a friendship with me, and they continued to try to witness to me and would ask questions like, don't you feel like something's missing in your life? Don't you feel like you have like a God-shaped hole in your heart? I'm like, no. They didn't quite know where to go with that, and I didn't really have a good answer for them. After I graduated college, I decided to move out to North Carolina, working as an elementary school teacher. And so to move here to North Carolina was really different. People talked about their faith a lot. They talked about Christianity. They wanted to know what church I went to. If I would mention to somebody that I was an atheist, I felt like the reaction was a little like shocked, like that was like really horrible, like I did terrible things or something. So I would avoid that as much as I could and just sort of dance around the topic a little bit. I taught school here for 2 years, and then after that I left teaching and found a job selling life and health insurance here in Asheville. And I had a coworker that I became friends with, and we would just talk about music and different things like that, but just started to have some other side conversations too about what I believed, why I believed it. And as he was seeking to understand why I believed what I believed, is when I really realized I didn't have a really good idea of why I believed what I believed. I had set down my beliefs without really investigating any of those things in college. It was just a couple of things that sounded convincing, and I just rolled with it. So through these conversations with this friend and other things, I started attending church and just listening to sermons and exploring things from a lot of different views, science and philosophy and morality and ethics, just this well-rounded look at the world. And so I realized that my worldview didn't fit the world around me. And the more I looked at Christianity, it was an explanation for the world that I saw around me in a way that atheism and naturalism never came close to touching. And then the question is, well, if God made me and everything around me, He's probably has something to say about how I live my life. And I could keep investigating forever, but I could really tell that I was sitting on a fence. And so I finally made the decision that this is real, this is what I want. And I made a decision to give my life to the Lord. So naturally, after spending a lot of time talking with this friend of mine, eventually we did start sharing about how we felt about each other, and we were dating. And while we were dating, he even shared with me that he was feeling a call to the ministry to be a pastor. And so I went into it openly, and it hadn't been, too many years since I had been a pretty staunch atheist. found myself as a pastor's wife, which was interesting and maybe a little bit funny in some ways. And it's been a journey since then. I've been really grateful to have God not just welcome me in, but to use me in different ways, to minister to other people, to love other people, to have compassion on people coming from different places. I think we can look around at church and feel like they've all done this. This is how they grew up. Everybody's a church person. And as you get to know people, I mean, we all have different stories. We've got different backgrounds. We come from different places, and our stories can change and have a different future from where our past is.